Here at Cornerstone Legal, our principal and primary area is acting as trial advocates and lawyers. We work primarily in town planning, local government, environmental and land compensation. But there are a number of cases that we also take on in the area of litigation for persons affected by commercial disputes. Those commercial disputes need to be resolved, and they need to be resolved quickly.
Commercial agreements are one of those things that are a constant, they're consistent. People are always going to be doing business, and so there's always going to be issues that arise from it. Having your agreements sorted out at the outset is always ideal, but where that isn't the case, and often it isn't the case, then really it just becomes a matter of how do we get you out of whatever pickle you're in as quickly as we can with as least fuss as we possibly can, and that's going to vary depending on the circumstances of each case.
We've been successful in resolving quite a number of company disputes, whether that's between directors or between a company and other companies. Those disputes need to be resolved in a way which hopefully maintains the commercial relationship. Being strong and achieving a commercial outcome of a dispute requires your lawyer to understand not only the mechanisms by which the dispute is able to be properly articulated out of court, but also requires lawyers to appreciate what is important to you as a client, how your needs are best directed by the lawyers who you appoint to act for and on your behalf.
We do lots of different commercial type matters, anything from establishing business and giving advice on business structures, right through to dealing with disputes. The biggest problems that people have is that when they embark on a business venture, they often are very optimistic in the beginning and they have fabulous ideas, and they don't always think them through to completion and how it's going to finish up and how things are going to be divided. I don't know if it would be wrong for me to say that divorce is always more expensive than marriage, and I think it's probably the same principle. So if you have everything documented right from the beginning and the outset, then it can not only save relationships but save an awful lot of money and cost and time and effort, and even emotional distress.
Resolving commercial disputes means that you have to be commercial about the way within which you're going to resolve your dispute. You need to make sure that you don't get into a dispute in the first place. That means before you ever get into business, you have to know how you're going to get into business, how you're going to stay in business, and how you're going to get out of business. Those three principles can be best affected by proper documentation.
You need to know who you are and who you're in business with, and that's really important. Sometimes what a business or company structure you think it is actually not the way it is. So knowing your client or knowing the other party who you're going to do business with is really important. The next thing you need to know is what is the business that you're engaging in. It needs to be properly defined. You need to know what is the business, what is confidential, who owns the intellectual property, all of those sorts of things when you're entering into a commercial agreement. And of course, if you're going to disagree with something along the lines, how are you going to deal with those disagreements? Having an appropriate dispute resolution process in place right at the outset, even though there may not be any, and it would be great if there's not, but if there is one in place, it enables things to be handled pretty swiftly, pretty smoothly, and in accordance with an agreed process. We do look fairly deeply into the circumstances. We look at the options that are available. We are very strategy driven. I think getting to know your client and understanding the problem, determining all of the strengths and the weaknesses from the outset, finding out what our client wants and what their bottom line is. It's always really important for me when I'm going in to battle, so to speak. I need to know where our client is happy and when they wouldn't be happy. So I need to know what their line in the sand is, so to speak. I need to know that. And then I can negotiate for the best possible outcome I can. We try to deal with things outside of court if we can. We try to commercially resolve matters. Sometimes that's not possible. Most of the courts these days require mediation and things prior to the final hearing.
Here at Cornerstone Legal, we have experience in resolving some of the most complex commercial disputes. Persons who understand that cases need to be resolved promptly, efficiently, and with the least degree of fuss to maintain the commercial relationship often will come to us.